What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. And problems for General Motors just keep stacking up, man. You know, I find it interesting that you had all these engines failing in the Escalades, the Tahoes, the Yukons, right? The 6.2 was failed. It's blowing up, man. Less than 30,000 miles, they were just grenading. Some of them 8,000 miles. Like, you can find the stories all over Instagram, right? People get an engine replacement, 3,000 miles later, boom, engine blows again. And this has to deal with bad manufacturing. You know, they either left trash or, metal, like little, and it's crazy. It could just be the smallest of little shavings because the tolerances are so small that that's all it takes to totally destroy and grenade a motor. So that's what General Motors was dealing with, right? So there's class action lawsuits now on that, and they're facing problems, like some significant problems. But what I find interesting is you think that they would have learned their lesson and that wouldn't be an issue moving forward. Well, it looks like it is. We're going to get into all that and more right after this. So welcome on back to TK's Garage. Before we get into the story today, I got to talk a little bit about the giveaway. The Ram TRX and Challenger SRT giveaways from Still Lit Lighting Solutions are coming to an end. As they run out of inventory, we will be closing out this giveaway. So, I believe yesterday they were under 100 pieces. I think it was down to 70-something pieces. And it looks like they're around 48 pieces today. So, could it close out today? Most likely. They did drop 2,000X entries to close it out, to blow out the rest of the inventory. That is up now until the inventory sells out. So if you want to get in on it, now is the time to do it. TK'sgarage.bigcartel.com. Link is in the description down below. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into the video. So I saw this story over on Reuters, because I know some of them are like, well, TK, what are your sources? Reuters, 600,000 GM vehicles. 600,000 GM vehicles. The NHTSA, National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, is probing into engine failure issues. And these are new ones. These are 2025s, 2026s. These are not older ones. The exact number is 597,571 engines. Oof. Oof. So, what I find interesting about this is General Motors has already asked for a couple things to help them address this issue with existing engines. And they'll probably do like rebuilds. But they asked the White House, they asked the administration and the EPA if they could remove the cylinder deactivation off of their V8 engines. And I'm wondering if that's causing the problem. Now, what's funny is normally like the lifter failure doesn't cause the whole engine to blow up like these are doing. These are just literally like piston, like it's almost like the cylinder walls are getting scoured with something, or like there's something floating around in the oil, and then it just slowly grenades the motor. And it's not something that you're going to see right away. I think if they started checking the oil on every one of these engines when they brought it in for an oil change at their dealer, they'd probably catch this stuff. I mean, once you see glitter in the oil, it doesn't matter. I mean, I know people that have been able to fix rod bearings or whatever, and and they get by with it for a couple years, not doing a full rebuild, right? And normally you got to take out those pistons, put in new rings, put in new pistons, put in new rods, bearings, all of that shit. You basically, and that's hoping that you don't see the cylinder walls are scoured, right? But I know some people that have had bearing issues. You know, they spin a bearing and they change the oil and replace the bearings, and they're fine. Granted, they were Mopar engines. They're not, you know, it was a 5.7, or no, was it a 6.1? It was either a 5.7 or a 6.1. My dude, Sequence has did that with his car. But I just don't know how General Motors is going to address this problem, because this is bad on so many levels. Like, just so you know, and because you guys know I'm a BMW guy, I'm also a Mopar guy, right? But BMW guy. How in the fuck is BMW and Subaru listed as more reliable than Ford and Chevy? Oh my God, that's bad. All right, the trucks have always been the staple at General Motors to be the reliable vehicle, right? It's the vehicle you can buy from GM and you can think, you know, I'm going to get 250 or 300,000 miles out of this vehicle consistently, right? The 1500 trucks have been great for a long time. Not anymore, man. Excuse me. Unfortunately, those engines have all gone to shit, and I don't know how GM fixes it. I think part of it is they need to have a top-down change in the manufacturing process. I know that. I feel like they need to have a top-down change in the manufacturing process to get shit situated and together. So we'll have to see. I don't know. I know this looks really bad for GM right now, and their stock was already taking a little bit of a hit, but another 600,000 engines. Oof. Oh man, I just can't wait to see what that first quarter earnings or second quarter earnings are going to look like when they're replacing all these engines in these vehicles. It's ridiculous. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay petty, my friends.
For the longest time, whoa, for the longest.
Yo, Percocet, Miley Percocet.